Welcome back to JK McLeod.
Today I'm working on my Pioneer NU-17. Did a bar replacement from a single to a full wrap. And today I'm going to try to tackle getting this primer up and going. Spent the better part of, I don't know, maybe a year gathering the parts that I need, and hopefully we can get this gal to prime on her own. Off, cover, there's 2 screws right there. Two cover lips off. See if I can get the primer hose off. Gal's on there pretty good. And here we go. Set that all aside. That's what the primer looks like from the bottom. There's a one-way check valve, which is this little piece here. 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. And like a clamshell, it should separate. And hopefully it should separate. Been in there so long. Let's see if I can get a little foothold on it. Ah, there we go. Destroy too much of the gasket. Oh yeah. Now in here there's a little one-way check valve where it sucks the fuel in and it pushes it out. This little detent right there goes across and then down. And on this side is the little plunger. Should be here, I'll show you, is, well, this is the earthly remains of that little plunger right there. There's a little diaphragm that goes across here and it's held in by that screw that actually does the pulling up of the fuel. Let me get this all cleaned up and separated and we'll pick it up where we left off. As you can see here, I have the one-way check valve on still part of the body here, but on the inside there's that little I guess it's their version of a duckbill valve held in by that little clip. Now I've got a replacement, but unfortunately the replacement is probably 50 years old at least. And it should be nice and round and solid like this one, but this one's all cracked and dried out. And unfortunately it's pretty much unusable. So I'm going to have to dissect these two, see exactly how they fit in the hole, and use a duckbill valve and try to improvise. You know, this one has no flow through it, and this one here has got flow both ways, where it should be just in. Fuel should flow in this way and stop. Shouldn't be able to come back out. So let me dissect these two and see what we get. The biggest reason why I love working on these old 60, 70-year-old saws is that the parts no longer exist, and you forever have to improvise and reinvent and figure out ways of doing what needs to be done. Now on this here, this little one-way check valve, essentially it's a flat surface, and with a couple of pieces of, I guess, well, at one time it was one piece of diaphragm material that goes on top of it, held in by this little clip. So what happens is fuel has to be pulled through, but any pressure coming down, it has to stop. Just think of a needle and seat on any carburetor. So what I did on this, as you can see, she's holding vacuum, trying to pull out, but if I try to put air into it, air comes right through, which means the fuel will flow one way and stop coming out backwards. So essentially making the one-way check valve. Now how I did that is I took two circles of 0.3 millimeter diaphragm material. Now originally biggest hole puncher I got, but the pieces that it pulled out were too small. So again, improvise. The 3-hole binder, it used to make holes so you can put a loose leaf binder in. Turns out, stick the material in there, clamp it down, and it pops out these perfectly round circles, which fit absolutely perfect. Now the first one, the 3 millimeter, is a little too thin. Yeah, it needs a bit of thickness here. You can see right where the surface of this clip mounts. It needs to be just below that surface. So 2 pieces of 0.3 millimeter diaphragm material works perfectly. I think if you did maybe 0.6, 0.6, if it's available, probably would work. But you want to keep it as flexible as possible. The thinner the material, the more flexible it is. So what it does is it gets pushed down against that little seat. So I cleared off all the malarkey, put the 2 little discs in there, and they're not quite perfect. You don't want a tight seal in there because you need fuel to flow through. So what happens is as you push down on the button, it forces the fuel down and out this little hole right here. And what's in there is a small spring-loaded little pressure valve right there, a little detent. And at the end of it is a small, let me see if I can stop it from shaking. Is a small, I guess, O-ring, beveled O-ring or washer. Now I picked up that little part, this little guy here. They were available, so I grabbed a couple of them, and I figured, all right, well, I thought it came with the little gasket on it, but it doesn't. But I mean, this is the smallest O-ring I have. That's R1 metric, the small metric O-ring, and it's still too big. Still too big for this. Now I'm not sure exactly what part number it is. I'm gonna have to research that. or if I can find O-rings that are any smaller than that. So essentially, if I can find an O-ring a little smaller than that one, that fits snugly on the tip of that, that makes a viable replacement. But for now, I cleaned out the hole right there, put some WD-40 on it, and essentially just screw that puppy back in, and hopefully, you know, the up motion will pull fuel in. The down motion will press against these little diaphragms, these little diaphragms that I made at the bottom, and sort of a little escape valve on the side. Pressure will go through, it'll go through this little channel, and then down into the carburetor. Okay, now we get to the flip side of it, the button and diaphragm, which is, it's pretty much all that's left of it. If you see my last video on this, I think it was the 550 I was working on. Yeah, I tried to improvise and use gasket material and diaphragm material, but yeah, you know, I tried like maybe 4 or 5 different things and nothing worked. But you know, patience and perseverance pays off. I was able to locate these little diaphragms there. Let's see. Okay, that's what they are supposed to look like. That's what they're supposed to look like. And I also managed to find the button because it snapped off. And there's one more part to it I kept from the old one that was broken. Got to keep the old parts here. Let me see if I can get this open here. It is the spring that goes around there. Essentially, get the button out. Go. Spring. Button. Turn it around. Push it through. Okay, and diaphragm goes. I'm not even showing you. It's so far off camera. All right, let me find it right here. Spring goes on the handle. Push it down. It's a 3-handed operation. Now everything's spring loaded. This little diaphragm goes there, and that screw goes down into the center, and that's pretty much what holds it. And as the spring tension releases, it pulls fuel. As you press it down, it pushes fuel down into this little cavity here and out through that little check valve. Let me clean this up, get all this set. Let's see what we get. Okay, and how's the assembly goes? The spring's in there. You've got the little cone shape inside. Washer on the outside. Further. Keep your thumb pressure on it. If not, everything's going to go flying. Reasonably tight. It's only plastic. And release. And as it's sandwiched in there, it will draw fuel. Push down, fuel into the carb, back it draws up. I guess we got to get that sandwiched in there. And it will go in there like that. There we go. You get a little moto seal around there. And hopefully that'll do it. Sandwich in here. Get that nice and tight. Let it set. And we'll give it a test. Yeah, I think we got a winner here. Did the same treatment to this check valve. 2 0.33 millimeter thickness of diaphragm material. Put the clip right back. And for the last 2 minutes, she's holding vacuum. Flip it around. And she's allowing fuel to flow. Yeah, fix the one-way check valve. I think this is the route. Simple, easy, and pretty darn cheap. You know, the kids have one of these things around for school. Make 3, you know, for the 3-ring binders. Makes the perfect sized little circle. Yep, got this one all together. And I can feel that it's making vacuum. I can feel it pulling against my finger. But I'll let the motor seal dry. And then hook a hose up to this side, a little bit of fuel, see if she pulls. And there we have it. We have fuel. And on the top you see a little sight glass. There you go. All we need is a few drops thrown into the carb. And that's the reaction we're all looking for. Primer's back. It is. Let it drain. There we go. And put it back on the saw. Alright. And success. There you go. Primer back on. Cover back on. And as far as this saw is concerned, it's functionally complete. Primes, runs, oils, there's all the fun stuff, things that chainsaws need to do. Thanks for watching.